Hello guys, this is Mohammed and welcome to SAP Academy. This is session number 3. In this session, we are going to start General Ledger Accounting. As General Ledger Accounting has many subtopics, it will be covered in different parts. And in part 1, we will learn about organizational units. It is a very important topic not to be missed. The more we gain insight on this topic, things will be more easy and interesting as we move ahead. So in organizational units, we are going to learn what is client, what is company code, company, profit center, segment, functional area, and business area. First, let's see what is the definition of organizational units, because this term is used in SAP system. Business units into system units. Organizational units in the SAP system translate business units into system units. When I say business units, it means company, branch, division, manufacturing site, and more. And system units for these business units can be company code, profit center, segment, plant, and so on. Integration. The organizational units are assigned to each other and the master data is also attached to the organizational units. We will learn more about integration of various organizational units in the next session. Reference to post-business transactions. All the business transactions in the system are posted with the reference to specific organizational units. For example, company code, profit center, segment, and so on. Reports evaluation. All the reports are evaluated on different organizational levels and at different combinations of these units. For example, at company code level, at segment level, or company code plus segment level, and so on. Let us look at a sample organizational unit hierarchy. This is an example. So we have company, a sample company, ABC group of companies. It has a code 1000 in the system and it is created at client level, meaning this is the highest level in SAP system. And under this company, we have 5 company codes, and these 5 company codes are located in different countries: France, UK, Canada, US, and Japan. And all these company codes have a 4-digit key. For France, 1000, UK 2000, Canada 3000, US 4000, Japan 5000. And we have profit centers in this company for seasonal clothing, formal apparel, shoes, and handbags. And these profit centers are linked to apparel segment and accessories segment. So this is just a typical example of how an organizational hierarchy looks like. Let us learn more about the first organizational unit, client. Let us look at the definition of client first. Generally, a person or an organization using services of a professional person or an organization is known as a client. In the world of SAP, the term client has a special meaning. Client is the highest organizational unit in the SAP system. As per SAP, clients are defined as self-contained, meaning complete and independent commercial, organizational, and technical units within an SAP system. Using a web browser or GUI, one can log into a client in SAP to actually access and use the system. Organizational master and transactional data are maintained on the client level. The main objective of the client is to keep this data completely isolated from the other clients, meaning the data in one client is independent of the data in another client. For example, a master record created in one client cannot be used in another client. In an SAP system, there can be multiple clients. You can think of a client as a view of the database. Certain configurations and master record details in the SAP system are maintained on the client level, which means that the specific setting is valid or the master record is used for the whole client. In the picture, you see a dev system. Dev is a short form for development system. So you can see we have one dev system, and under this dev system we have two clients, client 100 and client 200. And under each client we have separate user master records, company code data, vendors, customers, and business transaction data. But both the clients use the same data dictionary tables, ABAP programs, and printers. Since these are cross-client, when we say cross-client, if you make changes to these items, it applies to all the clients in the system. ABAP programs are nothing but SAP programs. ABAP is a language in which these programs are written, normally known as ABAP programs. Now let's look at a sample system landscape. System landscape is the arrangement of systems. System landscape contains all the SAP systems that you have installed. It can consist of several system groups and are linked by transport routes, meaning changes are made at a lower level and then transported to production system. Configuration changes are not allowed directly in production system, but there can be certain exceptions. Here is an example of dev system, and in this box we have three clients. Client 10 is configuration client. Client 20 is sandbox. Client 30 is dev testing or unit testing. The configuration client is where the functional consultants do the configuration. The sandbox is more of an experimental system or experimental client, where we can experiment new functionalities. Dev test system or dev test client is normally used for IT testing or unit testing. When the functional consultants complete the configuration, they do the testing in this client. Another system in the landscape is quality system or staging system. It may also have multiple clients. In this example, we have client 10, which is quality test system, 20 training client, 30 training to client. 20 is a training client and 30 is also a training client. And the most important system in the landscape is production system, or normally known as PRD system. Normally, we only have one production client, but more than one client can also be configured. Once the dev testing is complete and successful, the changes can be transported to the quality system using transport request, and the business users do the testing in quality system, and if they approve the changes, then the changes can be moved to production. If any further changes or issues to be fixed, then a new transport request is used to make the changes and follow the same route to transport the changes to quality and production system. We will learn more about transport management in the future sessions. Client setup is done by the Basis or NetWeaver team. There are important client settings that we should know. Let us review the client settings. Let us go to the T code SCC4, and you can see we have multiple clients in this system. So I will go into the client which I'm using. You can see the client number, client name, city, last changed by, date, logical system, currency. The currency used here in this setting is USD, and this currency is known as group currency. And client role is currently set as customizing. So this is a customizing client or configuration client. We have other options here in the drop down like demo, training and education, production, SAP reference, and test. SAP reference systems are not modifiable. These are used by SAP. And below you have different sections: changes and transports for client specific objects, cross-client object changes, client copy and comparison tool protection, CAT and ECAT restrictions, and other restrictions. We will discuss these details in the next sessions, but it is very important to know the first option, which is changes and transport for client specific objects. Currently, automatic recording of changes is ticked. This means whenever we make changes in the system and save the changes, system will record these changes in a transport request, and those recorded transport requests are sent to quality system and production system later. The first option is changes without automatic recording, meaning the changes are not saved in a transport request and hence cannot be transported to the higher level systems. Let's move on to the next organizational unit, company code. Let's see the definition. When we configure business entities in the system, we define a legal entity as a company code. SAP defines a company code as smallest organizational unit of external accounting for which a complete self-contained set of accounts can be created. For example, balance sheet and profit and loss statement. This is possible simply because all business transactions in financial accounting are entered, saved, and evaluated at company code level. A company code is the most basic organizational unit for financial accounting in the system. We cannot implement the FI component without defining a company code. We can create as many company codes in a single client as needed. Now, when we create a company code in the system, what are the steps that are needed? Step number 1. Create or copy an existing company code. When we decide to create a company code, we have two options to create a company code: whether to create from scratch or copy from an existing company code. Normally, the company codes are created by copying from existing company codes. There are two scenarios in this step. The first one is copy from SAP provided sample company code or copy from existing real company code. In the first case, if we are creating the first company code in the system, we can use SAP sample company code. And in case if we already have a real company code, we can use the real company code to copy as a reference to copy a new company code. After we have copied the company code, we have to adjust the basic data, because company code will copy everything as it is from the reference company code. The third step is to adjust the global parameters. We will have a look at the global parameters and the settings available in it shortly. To copy a company code, either we can use the IMG path or we can use the transaction code OX02. This copies the basic data, global parameters, and customizing settings. And optionally, we can choose to copy GL accounts and account determination, assignment to the controlling area, defined local currency. Since these settings may or may not be same for the new company code. For example, the local currency of the company may be different than the reference company code. For example, if we have an existing company code in the USA and now we are creating a new company code in the UK, then the currency will be different. So in this case, SAP is well designed to guide us By this you can understand the design of SAP. Once we have copied the company code, in step 2 we can adjust the basic data, and in step 3 we can adjust the global parameters. Let's look at the important basic settings in global parameters. This is the operating chart of accounts. Once we define the operating chart of account, we assign the operating chart of accounts in the global parameters of the company code. Country chart of accounts contains the country-specific account numbers and names. Company is used for consolidation purposes. Fiscal year variant contains number of posting periods and the start and end dates of each period. This setting is used to ensure transaction data is not reset or deleted. In SAP, there is a transaction to reset or delete the transaction data. Field status variant groups several field status groups together, which control the field statuses, whether the field should be hidden, display, required, or optional. Posting period variant is used to open closed posting periods. It is easy to handle companies with a common period control. Let us have a demo. To create a company code, I can go to transaction OX02, or I can go to SPRO, SAP reference IMG, enterprise structure, definition, financial accounting, edit, copy, delete, company code. Execute. And there are two options, copy and then edit. So we'll first copy it, then we'll go for editing. Select copy organization object. Before copying, you need to make sure that you have a reference company code. Reference company code is the one you're using as a reference to copy and create a new company code. In our example, I'll use 1710 to create our new company code. We can give 4-digit code for company code. It can be numeric or alphanumeric. Continue. Now it will give me several messages like this to decide what all settings I want to copy and what all settings I don't want to copy. In this case, it's asking me if I want to copy the GL accounts and chart of account. So in our case, I want to create a new chart of account and a list of new GL accounts. So in this case, I'll select no. Now it says controlling area is assigned to the reference company code. So I'll be creating a new controlling area and I'll assign it to our new company code. So I'll say no. The reference company code has a local currency USD. So I want to keep the local currency of the company as USD. So I'll say I don't want to change. It may give some error messages. If you want to know what this error message is all about, you can go to help. It says some of the data was deleted and some of the data was not copied. The assignment to controlling area was not copied because I selected not to do so. And some information was deleted. So we can go to global parameters to check and update the settings as needed. Continue. Continue. I don't want to transport the number ranges from the reference company code. I will create my own new number ranges. No. Now it is prompting me to enter a transport request. I can create a new transport request here, but in the real business scenario, you have to create the transport request in Solution Manager. So I'll select my transport request. Once that request is created from the list, and then continue. Now SAP is ready to copy the company code. Click on copy. Continue. We have created company code A001 by copying it from 1710. Continue. Now let us go back and edit the company code basic data. In step 2, click on position, type company code, select the company code. Since we have copied from 1710, the description is also copied. So we'll change the description as ABCUS. I want to keep the rest of the details as it is, and go to address and change the name of the company code ABCUS. I'll keep the address as it is, but I want to delete the email address. Continue and save. Continue. Let us move on to step number 3. To check and update the global parameters, we can use the code OBY6, or we can go to SPRO, SAP reference IMG, Financial Accounting, Financial Accounting Global Settings, Global Parameters for company code, enter global parameters, position, company code A001, select the company code. So it has also copied the global parameters. It has also copied the chart of accounts from the reference company code. I don't want to use this chart of account. I'll delete it. I don't have a country chart of account. I'll delete the credit controlling area. Fiscal year variant is K4. I'll just keep it as it is. We'll see it after we create the fiscal year variant. Field status variant is 0010. I'll create my own fiscal year variant, so I'll delete it. Posting period variant is 1710. I'll create my own. I'll delete that as well. I'll remove these settings, and that's it. Now save. Save. We are done creating a new company code by copying from a reference company code. Let us move on to the next organizational unit, company. Let us look at the definition first. A company is an organizational unit in accounting which represents a business organization according to the requirements of commercial law in a particular country. For example, it can be referred to as a group with 2 or more affiliate companies. A company's financial statements are often used to form the basis of consolidated financial statements. All the company codes assigned to a company must use the same chart of accounts and fiscal year. This applies in a scenario where we have one company and multiple company codes. The definition of the company is optional. For example, single company code exists. In this case, the company code itself is sufficient. When performing intercompany transactions where an affiliate company acts as a supplier or a customer, you create the affiliate as a business partner and maintain the field trading partner with the relevant company key. Let's have a demo on this section. We can directly go to the transaction code OX15 to define a company, or we can go to SPRO, SAP reference IMG, enterprise structure, definition, financial accounting, define company. Can click on new entries, give a 5 digits company key, for example A000. We can give up to 5 digits, so I'm giving 4 digits key. ABC group of companies. We can give address, city, country, US, language key EN, currency USD. Save. Select the appropriate transport request and save. Now we have created a company. Now let's go to the next step and assign the company to the company code. We can go to OBY6 transaction code, or we can follow the IMG path. Financial accounting, global settings, global parameters for company code, enter global parameters, select the company code we have created, A001. Now assign company which we have created just now, A000, and save. Save the transport request. We have created the company and assigned to the company code successfully. Let's move on to the next organizational unit, Profit Center. Let us look at the definition first. Profit Center is typically observed as master data in SAP, but it functions more like an organizational unit in accounting. Profit Center typically represent an organizational unit within the company, for example, production site, division, a geographical location, an office, or a combination of these. A profit center must be assigned to a group of standard hierarchy. The standard hierarchy is a tree structure which contains all profit centers in a controlling area. Let us define the profit center. The transaction code is KE51. Instead of using the T code, you can use the menu tree. Accounting, financial accounting, and a ledger, so records, profit centers, processing, create. Let us create a profit center A001. For creating a profit center, we need to create a controlling area and a standard hierarchy. Since these topics will be covered in controlling, I'm using a controlling area which is already created in the system. Let's enter the name, person responsible, group, save. Once you click on save, prompts a message saying that the profit center is saved but it's in inactive status. Let's press continue, then click activate. The profit center is now created and activated successfully. Let us move on to the next organizational unit, segment. Let us look at the definition first. Segments are nothing but products or various businesses of an organization, according to which the financial statements for external and internal purposes are to be prepared. Segments are one level above profit centers. Accounting principles such as IFRS and US GAAP require segment reporting to fulfill reporting requirements on financial statements. Segments are assigned in profit center, which means segments are derived from profit centers. This is because profit center has greater derivation flexibility. Let us create a segment and assign it to a profit center. Let us go to SPRO to create a segment. SAP reference IMG, enterprise structure, definition, financial accounting, define segment. Click on new entries, segment code, description, save. Save the transport request. Now we'll assign this segment in the profit center we have created. Transaction KE52, change profit center. Enter the segment, save. Since we have made the changes to this profit center, we again need to activate this profit center. Click on activate. So we have created a segment and assigned it to the profit center successfully. Let us move on to the next organizational unit, functional area. Let's look at the definition first. The functional area segregates the expenses of an organization by function, such as administration, sales and distribution, production, and so on. This division of expenses covers the requirements of cost of sales accounting. We will learn more about cost of sales accounting in the future sessions. Let us define a functional area. T code to define a functional area is OKBD. Or we can use SPRO, SAP reference IMG, enterprise structure, definition, financial accounting, functional area. Click on new entries, give the functional area code, name. And save. Save the transport request. We have created the functional area successfully. Let us move on to the next organizational unit, business area. Let's look at the definition first. Business area represents separate business segment or areas of responsibility and can be used across company codes. Business areas are not very flexible. and are not part of the SAP best practices. That means SAP does not recommend using business areas. Instead, profit centers or segments are better options. Let's define a business area. We can use the T code OX03, or we can use SPRO, SAP reference IMG, enterprise structure, definition, financial accounting, define business area. Click on new entries, give the business area code, and give a description. And save. Select the appropriate transport request and save. We have successfully created a business area. We have reached the end of this session. Please use the comment section if you have any questions or want to give any feedback. And please subscribe to my channel to get notified as soon as a new video is uploaded. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.